What is going on, guys? If you want to learn how to turn this into this, well, stick around because we're about to find out how. Woo! First off, if you're new here, my name's Jed Daybray. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you like camera content, please consider subscribing. It really helps my channel grow, and it costs you guys nothing, and I'm super appreciative for every single one of you. And at the end of the video, if you like it, give it a big old fat thumbs up. It really helps me. Anyway, today we're here to talk about how to get rid of pesky objects that you didn't want to be in your photos and get them gone using content aware fill. It's a super handy tool which basically uses AI to determine what should replace our subject that we're trying to remove. Now let's take a quick look at our test subjects and then let's get stuck into it. So here we've got a few of Rosie's Beagley MJ, and then we have a car going through some fog, and one of my favorite photos I've ever taken, this guy. This was in India on my trip with Panasonic, just absolutely unreal. I got off the bus, literally that is what was dead in front of me, and I was like, can I take a photo? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, bang, and I'm pretty pumped with what came out of it. We got a photo of Mark riding his bike. Now this one is from the how to fake a whip pan tutorial. That one will be linked up here or up here. I'm not sure what side it's on. I think it's going to be up on this one. So go ahead and watch that if you haven't already. And then last of all, we just got another one of Rosie at the beach. Before we learn how to use it, let's understand what it's actually doing, because this will help us in the long run when we're selecting our paths. When we select a path around an object that we'd like to remove and we content aware fill, the computer is recognizing what's around it, what content is nearby, and it's going to try and be aware of that while it fills in the gap. I know I just kind of repeated what the name of the thing is and try to break it down a little bit, but that's really what it is doing. It's aware of the content around it and it's going to try and fill that path with what's around it. So if you've got someone standing on the sand and you want to remove that person, it's going to try and replace the sand with a like-for-like sand that's nearby on either left or right of the selected area. Content aware fill is absolutely amazing for the small things and sometimes the big things it nails as well. You can literally remove anything from your image, be it bins, dogs, people, planes, cars, whatever. So let's quickly show you how to do this, then we'll jump into some rapid fire fixes and then hit the heavy stuff. And just before we do, I want to mention with all these editing suites, be it Photoshop, Lightroom, Final Cut, Premiere, After Effects, DaVinci Resolve, whatever, there's a million and one ways to achieve the exact same result. I'm not saying mine's the best way, this is just my workflow and hopefully you can learn from this. And if you've got a better way, make sure to let me know down in the comments below. Okay, so let's use this first image of MJ as our first test situation. So I really like this image, I just don't like this little thing out in the water here. It's some sort of ocean buoy marker sort of thing, I don't actually know. I just want to get rid of it. So what we're going to do, we're going to select our lasso or our lasso. We can hit L on our keyboard or we can come up here and just select the lasso tool. I'm going to zoom in to make this a little bit easier. And I'm going to just simply draw around this and I'm going to hit Control, Shift and Delete at the same time. It's going to bring up this, so we want to make sure we've got color adaptation, content aware, normal 100% just as there, and hit OK. And bang, she's gone. That looks seamless. You can never even tell it was ever there. Let's do another one. Let's get rid of this bin. It's distracting and I don't like it. Bang, done. You can never tell. I'm happy with that. Let's get rid of one of these mounds, why not? Now let's move to the car in the fog. Let's trace around this one quickly. Control, Shift, Delete at the same time. Hit OK. Done. Super simple. Now let's move on to some hard stuff. This one's going to be much harder to fix because I'm going to remove the door from this image. So sometimes it will nail it and sometimes it won't. I'm just going to trace around this guy and I'm going to hit Content Aware Fill as we have been. So as you can see, it's not done an incredible job. We've got a few extra cowboys down here. We've got some random lines and I don't like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit Command and Z. That's going to take us back a step. Now what we're going to do, instead of hitting Control, Shift and Delete, we're going to come up to Edit and we're going to scroll down to Content Aware Fill. Now this is going to bring up this workspace and you might notice on the right hand side we have the image that we did get given after we Content Aware Filled, and on the left we've got this green screen. So on the left here, you'll notice obviously there's a whole bunch of green on there. This is where the computer software is scanning to find the parts that it should replicate into that middle section. So what we're going to do is go ahead and erase any portion that we don't think it should replicate into that middle section. With our brush selected up here, we want to go on negative because that's going to erase our area. So over here on the right image, you'll see obviously we've got our cowboy's chest on there. Our cowboy, we don't want a second one, we like the one we've got. We're going to erase this guy, and then all of a sudden you notice him from the right image, he'll start to disappear. Now we've got some other problems. Now there should be no stairs in this image because we don't need stairs going higher than where they already are. So I'm just going to delete this whole lower layer. Now if you want to do this faster, using the square brackets, your right one to increase and your left one to decrease, you can make this brush much bigger. It's just a much quicker way to do it. So as you can see, things are starting to get better, but we've got these lines through here and I don't need those. So what I'm going to do, go ahead and erase over all the lines in the image that shouldn't be replicated inside of that image. And I'm going to get rid of that grate as well. I'm just going to bring my brackets down. That's looking pretty good. You could do with a little bit of touch up around his shoulder, but I like it for the most part, and I'll probably fix that with the clone stamp. Now, just in case you've gone too far and you've erased something you didn't mean to, if you come up here and you hit the plus sign, you can paint back in any of your green section that you wish to. So one last thing before you click OK, what we have over here is the option to output it to a new layer, the current layer, or you can duplicate it. Sometimes I'll go a new layer, and I think 95% of people would probably say go a new layer. And for the most part, I agree with them. However, sometimes I like to be able to clone stamp on the same layer, especially I'm not normally editing the original image. So I've got this backed up. I'm just having a bit of fun with it. I'm going to do the current layer because it makes clone stamping a lot easier, so you don't have to go back and forth between different layers. What I'm going to go here, click OK. Now this is our new image. So obviously we've got a few repeating patterns, so I will clone stamp this out. So I'm going to select the clone stamp by hitting S, and then what I'm going to do is hit Option and click. And now I've selected this area, and I'm going to replace it over here. And now that area's gone. It looks pretty good. I don't like how we've got this area repeating, so I'm going to take a bit of this paint from up here and just kind of, there we go, that looks alright. So the reason I've done this on the same layer is because I need to clone stamp some stuff out. I just find it a lot easier and a lot quicker. And I've got another copy of the image, which is my master, so I don't really mind mucking around with this image for now. Now on to the next one, which is going to be the image from the how to fake a whip pan tutorial. If you haven't seen that, make sure you go watch it. I'll have it linked at the end of this video as well as at the card earlier in the video. So this is Mark just riding his bike. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trace around him with that lasso, and I'm going to make sure I've got the shadows of the tires down here on the ground in it as well. And then I'm going to go up and select content aware fill. Now once again, using our brackets to make it larger or smaller, I'm going to paint out the areas I wouldn't like it to sample and get to an area where that's pretty good. Now before I hit OK on this, I'm also going to make sure it is on the same layer. Now the reason for that, just like in the tutorial, I'm going to use the cheeky little smudge tool. So we're going to hit OK on that. Now come over here, hit that select tool, and what we're going to do, we're just going to stroke back and forth until this is blended in nice and seamlessly. So now I'm pretty happy with this image after a bit of playing around with it, and I'd happily post this to the gram if I needed to. So it really is that simple to remove items from your images. I use it all the time to remove people, planes, cars, bins, whatever is distracting from my subject, that's what I'm going to get rid of. For instance, this is one of my favorite photos I've ever taken, but I didn't actually take it just like this. There was a lot of people in the shot, and I actually did remove one of the turrets of the Taj Mahal. I don't normally like to do stuff like that, but that was really just, the symmetry of it was kind of doing my head in. But I think for the most part, getting rid of the people made it a much better shot. Now I used the clone stamp a little bit and the pattern tool a little bit, but for the majority of this, it was content aware fill. Anyway guys, that is it from me. So if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ding that bell for future content. And if you liked the video, make sure to give it a big fat thumbs up. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it really helps small creators like me beat the algorithm. Well, at least a little bit anyway. Thanks so much for watching guys. I really appreciate it. My name's thew. See you in the next one. So what do you reckon guys? Next video, tutorial on how to do this? Let me know down in the comments below. Bye! Alright, I gotta go to work. I'm running late. I should make it. Bye.